Morning falls across the wedding dress. Unopened flowers wait beside it. Last night you said you had doubts. The night before our wedding, I waited for another sentence, something that would make you stay. But you walked out in silence. I stood beside the dress, still hoping you would turn around. Our always ended overnight. The morning after always came without you beside me. The dress was never touched. The flowers stayed unopened. Forever never reached the morning. I woke into your leaving. Our always ended overnight. I woke beside the waiting dress. The room looked ready for forever. I could not touch the flowers. I could not move the dress. The morning kept becoming real. With every minute you stayed gone. This should have been our first date. Instead life began without you. Our always ended overnight. The morning after always held everything except our wedding. Your place remained untouched. The flowers waited in their paper. The dress kept all its white. I woke where forever should begin. Our always ended overnight. I am not only missing you, I miss what morning promised. The years we never started, the vows we never reached. The room was full of beginnings, but I woke inside an ending and had to call it morning. Morning falls across the wedding dress. Unopened flowers wait beside it. I lie still where always ended. The day begins without you, and forever stays in yesterday. You stand beside the open door. I have no tears or questions. I knew when you stopped trying, the ending had begun. I started every hard talk. You let each one go quiet. I held the days together and called the damage temporary. I gave another year to something already over. I stayed past the ending, long after you let go. I fixed each widening crack while you prepared to leave. I kept us barely steady. called exhaustion, love. When you finally left, I did not ask you why. I had spent every question during that final year. No shock remained inside me, no hope was left to break. I watched you cross the doorway, too tired to fall apart. I stayed past the ending until nothing remained. You left with quiet footsteps. I stayed too tired to move. I thought leaving would break me, but waiting did that first. You had already worn me down. I stayed past the ending. I stayed because admitting the end would make it real. So I kept calling effort a reason not to leave. But I was not saving us, I only delayed the grief. You quietly prepared your goodbye, while I used all my strength. The open door stays empty, your footsteps fade away. I do not call you back, I am too tired for surprise. The ending leaves with you. The city map lies between our cups. Your finger circles somewhere without me. You talked about another city, the work you wanted there, the apartment you could picture, the view outside its windows. I waited for my name, to find a place inside it, and told myself you just forgot. I wasn't in your tomorrow, not in the city you described, not in the rooms you pictured, not in the plans you made. I kept waiting to be mentioned, like love was understood, but you had built a life without me. I wasn't in your tomorrow. Each time you spoke I listened for one small word like we, but every future sounded finished with only you inside. It was not an accident, you had already imagined a whole life without me. I wasn't in your tomorrow, you kept me in today. The city held your future, the work held all your hope, the apartment held your mornings, but nowhere held my name. You had already dreamed without me. I wasn't in your your tomorrow. I thought love meant planning together. I thought forever used to voices, but I was hearing your goodbye. Inside every future sentence, you never had to leave yet to show me I was gone. You had moved ahead without me. I wasn't in your tomorrow, not in the city you described, not in the rooms you pictured, not in the plans you made. I kept waiting to be mentioned, like love was understood, but you had built a life without me. I wasn't in your tomorrow. A city map lies between our cups. Your fingers circle somewhere without me. I look for us inside it. There is only your tomorrow, and no place with my name. New keys rest inside my hand. You walk away in morning light. That morning should have started the first home we called ours. We were meant to sign the lease and finally begin. I held the keys so tightly, already seeing us inside. Then you said you could not continue, and every plan went still. The day forever changed its mind. I still held our new keys. You ended every room before we stepped inside. The morning meant for beginning became our final day. The day forever changed its mind. You walked away from us. I watched you walk away with keys still in my hand. The home we had chosen would never become ours. I stood inside a morning that had lost its meaning. One sentence took our future and left me holding proof. The day forever changed its mind. No door had even opened, but every dream behind it was already gone. I thought these keys meant home. They only marked the ending. You left before our first step. The day forever changed its mind. I always thought an ending would follow something breaking, not arrive beside a promise on the day it should begin. I held the start of forever while listening to it end. You left without the future. I kept the keys to nowhere. New keys rest inside my hand. You disappear in morning light. note remains unsigned. Our first home stays unopened. The day forever changed its mind. Two shadows lie beneath one blanket. Your back is turned toward me. We woke beneath the same sheets. I made enough for two each morning. We ate across the table. You looked past every word I said. Our days still move together, but your mind lives somewhere else. I felt you leaving without leaving. You were gone beside me, close enough to hear me breathe, far enough to miss my hurting. We shared a bed, not closeness. We shared our meals, not conversation. I had never felt so lonely. You were gone beside me, long before either of us left. I learned to speak without answers. The silence joined us every evening. Your pillow stayed beside mine, but comfort never crossed the space. Nothing in the room had changed. Still nothing felt like home. Our love ended where we lived. You were gone beside me. I could reach but not be held. Every ordinary evening made your absence more complete. We kept living like a couple, though our love had already ended. You were gone beside me before either of us left. I thought being near meant staying. I thought routine could keep us safe. So I kept setting to places and sleeping on my side. But you were only in the room. Your heart was somewhere else. We ended without moving. Two shadows lie beneath one blanket. Your back is turned toward me. The room stays just as quiet. No one has left the bed, but we are already gone. The sent message glows past midnight. Your hands hang loose around my waist. Your answers came an hour later, and sometimes not at all. You held me without holding. Your eyes stayed somewhere else. The promises you once remembered became things I had to mention. I watched you stop loving me, and every pause between replies, and every empty embrace, and every promise you forgot. years waiting for the old you to return and reach for me. My love stayed where it started. I watched you stop loving me. Now I know the change was real. Your delays became an answer. Your arms became a warning. Each promise lost its meaning. You stood beside me, feeling less, while I felt everything unchanged. I loved you through your leaving. I watched you stop loving me, not all at once but slowly. And all the things you stopped giving, and every hope I carry, I waited for the old you until your feelings disappeared. Your heart went quiet beside mine, while mine remained unchanged. I watched you stop loving me. I knew before I named it, I saw it every day. But hope kept making reasons for what love could not explain. I was not waiting for you, I waited for who you are. That version never returned. The sent message glows past midnight. Your hands hang loose around my waist. I wait for warmth that is not there. Your feelings fade in silence. Mine remain where you left them. You stood outside my doorway, flowers shaking in your hands. I asked you for affection, I asked you to meet me. I needed honest answers and proof that we still mattered. You promised you would change whenever I tried leaving, then slipped back into distance until I stopped asking. You loved me too late, after my hope grew tired. You loved me too late, I could not wait forever. You loved me too late, when it could not save us. You loved me too late, and I walked away. Months passed without your silence. My life felt peaceful again. Then you appeared with flowers and everything written down. You said you started therapy. You finally saw my hurt. For one unsteady moment, I almost let you back. You loved me too late, my heart survived without you. You loved me too late, I no longer needed you. You loved me too late, love cannot undo that. You loved me too late, and I walked away. I wanted to believe you, I wanted this before. hope grew tired. You loved me too late. I could not wait forever. You loved me too late. When it could not save us, you loved me too late. And I walked away. Flowers wait between us. Your letter rests beneath them. I thank the man you became. Then keep the peace I found, and close the door quietly. Familiar music fills the restaurant. Your hand waits across the table. I knew before we said it, the warmth left your voice. Our kisses felt like duty. Each night played out the same. I stayed for all our history, old photographs on my phone. I searched the man beside me, but only found the past. I stayed after love left, held on to what remained. I searched your present face for who you used to be. We kept our evenings moving like lines we had rehearsed. We guarded something empty. I stayed after love left. On our anniversary, we returned to where we met. The music still felt familiar. We filled the hour with small talk. You reached across the table. I only felt the sadness. We were mourning what was gone. So I finally told the truth. I stayed after love left. You stayed to avoid leaving. We cried across the table and stopped pretending then. We held each other softly for everything we lost. We ended what had ended. I stayed after love left. I feared that walking away would make our years meaninless. So I kept feeding memories and called their shadows love. But ending cannot erase the days that once were real. It only lets us leave the place love left behind. The music fades behind me. Our empty table blurs through glass. I walk the long way home. Love left us months ago. We only stayed behind. Two chairs face each other. My hands reach, yours stay still. I offered every apology and waited through your distance. I called my patience hope and gave another chance. I sat through every session and opened every wound. You took each thing I offered, but never offered yours. The love I couldn't rescue, no matter what I gave. I held us both together while you stopped holding on. I kept handing you chances, you kept receiving them. One heart cannot save two. The love I couldn't rescue. I thought more understanding would make you meet me halfway. I softened every question and waited for your answer, but every step toward you left me standing there alone. I finally saw the truth. You never reached for us. The love I couldn't rescue was never mine to save. I gave it every apology and every patient day. You accepted all my effort and returned an empty hand. I cannot love for both of us. The love I couldn't rescue. I blame myself for failing because I tried alone. I thought love meant enduring until you met me there. But love is not a promise one person keeps alive. I did not fail to save us. You never tried beside me. Two chairs face each other. You remain quiet and still. My hands rest in my lap. I finally stop reaching for the love I couldn't rescue. Key rests on the counter. Half the closet stands empty. Our conversations became smaller. Your hand stopped finding mine. We ate across the same table and barely met each other's eyes. We slept beneath one blanket, but lived in separate worlds. I waited for one honest talk. You answered me with silence. We died without goodbye. No final words between us. No moment I could point to. No ending I could fight. You faded well beside me. I watched and stayed so quiet. We died without goodbye before you even left. You started working later. I stopped asking when you'd come. One evening we sat speechless for almost one whole hour. You stood without looking back and chose the other room. I almost asked if we were over, but silence answered first. We died without goodbye, while sharing every door. happened. We died without goodbye. One quiet day at a time. I thought you had to say it before our love could end. I needed one last sentence to tell me when to grieve. But every untouched dinner and every turned away face had been our final answer. We never dared to name. Your key rests on the counter. Half the closet stands empty. No final embrace remains. No last words fill the room. Only quiet where we ended. Two dinner plates beside the sink. Television light fills the room. We ate the usual dinner and washed the dishes after. The television filled the room with voices we ignored. We talked about small things, like there would be tomorrow. I never tried to hold it. I thought we had more nights. Our last ordinary night did not feel like an ending. No final words were waiting. No tears fell in the room. I let the hours pass because they felt so certain. Our last ordinary night was gone before I knew. The morning brought the news that changed everything between us. You had to leave the city and never return again. I watched our normal life become something already over. The night I barely noticed became the one I keep. Our last ordinary night now holds our whole goodbye. I search each simple moment for something I should have known. The plates, the sink, the screen were holding our last hours. Our last ordinary night still follows every morning. If I had known the truth, I would have watched you longer. I would have heard each small word as something I could keep. But endings do not always arrive looking like goodbye. Sometimes they look like dinner and leave by morning light. Two dinner plates beside the sink, television light. Across your face I replay the quiet hours before the morning changed everything. Our last ordinary night. Your name glows across my phone. I hold the speaker to my ear. You said we need to talk. I knew before you finished. Your voice was soft and careful. Each word arrived so slowly. I let the silence open and waited for the reason. My heart had hurt already. I found goodbye in your voice before you gave it language, before you named the ending. I heard it in your care. The softness meant you were leaving. The pauses told me everything. You only confirmed what I knew. I found goodbye in your voice. I listened without stopping you. I barely said a word. You chose each sentence slowly, as if kindness changed the meaning. You finally named the ending. I held the phone more tightly and let my knowing become real. I found goodbye in your voice before the truth was spoken. Your gentle tone could not hide it. Your pauses gave it shape. I knew before you told me, but knowing did not hurt less. I heard us end in silence. I found goodbye in your voice. The truth is I kept hoping your voice would change halfway. That one unfinished sentence would turn and choose us again. But you stayed soft and certain, so I let you finish speaking. Never asked you to stay. Your name glows across my phone. I hold the speaker to my ear. Your final words fall silent. I lower my hand slowly, still hearing goodbye. Touched food cools between us. Two careful smiles across the table. We sat inside our favorite place, but nothing felt familiar. I searched for something honest. You smiled and looked away. Our food grew cold between us. We spoke in careful phrases, like people meeting for the first time, with memories they could not mention. The night we became strangers, nothing had to break. We smiled across the silence and watched the evening pass. The night we became strangers, we were still sitting there. I knew the shape of your face, but not the thoughts behind it. When the evening finally ended, we stood without a question. No hand reached for another, neither asked the other to stay. You turned one way toward home, I quietly chose chose the other. Each step made it clearer. We no longer knew each other. The night we became strangers, we walked home separate ways. The distance was not sudden, it finally had a name. The night we became strangers, I knew the road beside you, but not the person leaving. I could not call you mine. I thought our love would finish with words we would remember, but all we had was dinner and nothing honest said. The truth sat there between us, inside the untouched plates. That night did not make us strangers, it only showed we were. The food stayed cold behind us, our careful smiles were gone. You walked one way without me, I turned the other way and knew you as a stranger. My final voice note says played. No answer lights the screen. One small fight uncovered years of hurt we never named. I told you I felt invisible. You answered by going silent. You chose silence over us when I asked to be seen. You watched my words keep reaching, then gave me nothing back. You knew each part of me and treated me like no one. You would not say goodbye. You chose silence over us. I apologized through messages and waited outside your door. Days slowly became weeks. You never answered once. I sent one final message. My voice was breaking through tears. I asked if we were over or somehow still together. You listened to every second and left the question there. You chose silence over us and made me end it alone. You kept living without me while I waited for one word. I could not keep on begging for what you would not name. You refused to close the door. You chose silence over us. I did not block your number because my love was gone. I blocked it because waiting had taken all my strength. You would not give an ending or say that we were done. So I found the final words and spoke them for us both. My final voice note still says played. I delete the thread below. Your number leaves my screen. You never said goodbye. So I ended quietly. close enough to choose, then walked in opposite directions. We loved each other deeply, but every plan pulled apart. Your life was moving one way, mine kept moving somewhere else. We kept reaching the middle, then losing all our courage. Close enough to choose each other, too afraid to make it real. Nothing hurts like almost, like knowing love was real, like standing near forever, then letting silence choose. We had enough to matter, but not enough to stay. Nothing hurts like almost, and almost never leaves. Years have moved around me, but part of me remains inside the life we pictured and never dared to live. I wonder who we would be if one of us had spoken. I grieve what never happened as deeply as what did. Nothing hurts like almost, no ending I can bury, no memories of a home, just all we might have been. You were never truly mine, still losing you felt final. We missed a whole lifetime. Nothing hurts like almost. I blamed our separate futures and lives that pulled apart, but timing was not everything. We both were all so scared. We came close to choosing, then waited for the other. The future did not leave us, we never stepped toward it. We stood close enough to choose, and walked in opposite directions. Years have carried us away, but part of me stays there, beside the life we almost shared. Dress the way you wanted, stop calling friends you disliked. I swallowed every feeling. You said my tears were too much. Each change should make things easier, but nothing satisfied you. I kept becoming someone quieter to keep you close to me. I tried until I disappeared, gave up each part you questioned. I made myself so small, you still asked me for more. I called each loss a compromise and blamed myself for hurting. I loved you more than me. I tried until I disappeared. I found an old voice message I sent my sister years ago. My laughter sounded careless, like someone I once knew. I played it through my crying and grieve the girl I left. Then you canceled one more plan. This time I told you no. I tried until I disappeared, forgot what made me happy. You called me selfish for leaving after taking all I gave. The doorway hurt to cross, but staying hurt me deeper. I chose the pain that heals. I tried until I disappeared. I thought love meant adjusting whenever you pulled away. I thought hiding my sadness would finally make you stay. But love should never ask me to leave myself behind. So I packed one quiet bag and let you call me selfish. My old laughter fills the room. One bag waits beside the door. I carry that voice with me. She still sounds far away, but I am walking toward her. The call goes silent mid-sentence. Your name stays bright on the screen. You were saying something softly. I was trying to answer. Then the line went empty. No goodbye, no final word. I watched the seconds stop. My thumb waited above your name, but I never called you back. You never called me either. We ended between sentences, inside a word you never finished. The silence held the rest. Neither of us called again. We knew what waited after would only mean what we had lost. Our last words stayed unfinished. We ended between sentences. I still replay that moment. I could finish it for you, but every ending sounds the same. We both already knew the truth. The phone stayed quiet all night. I kept it beside my hand and let the silence answer. We ended between sentences. No final word to carry, no clear goodbye to remember. Just your voice cut into silence. I know why you never called. You know why I stayed quiet. The truth completed everything. We ended between sentences. The line did not end us. It only found the silence that lived between our words. I wanted you to call back. Still I never touched your name. We let one broken signal say what we could not say. The call stays silent mid-sentence. Your name stays bright on the screen. No one calls the other. The unfinished word goes quiet, and so do we. Your records lean beside the mirror. My reflection waits behind the glass. I learned your morning routines. I played the songs you loved. I planned my days around your dreams until they sounded like my own. I changed without noticing. Your life became my normal. I forgot where mine began. You left with half of me. The half of me you kept was built from all your habits, your music and your dreams. Now every choice feels borrowed. Every room asks who I am. I do not know myself alone. You left with half of me. I wake without your schedule, then wait for what comes next. I play your songs from habit, even when they make me ache. I still plan around your dreams before remembering you left. I search my days for something mine. You left with half of me. The half of me you kept still shapes the way I move and fills the songs I choose. I have to learn my own routines and dream without your voice. I have to build myself again. You left with half of me. I thought becoming us was love. I never saw myself grow smaller. I gave you every separate piece because I thought you would stay. Now losing you means finding the woman I stopped knowing. One quiet choice at a time. Your records lean beside the mirror. My reflection waits behind the glass. I study the face before me and ask her what she wants, then wait for my own answer. Thin light waits beneath the door. My hand rests on the silent lock. You asked me to stay near you, but never let me inside. I listened for what hurt you. You answered everything with quiet. I tried each careful question. You kept your feelings hidden and still expected me to wait. Your love became a locked room. I waited just outside it. You wanted me beside you, but never close enough to know. I searched for every doorway. You closed each one in silence. I could not live there forever. Your love became a locked room. Now I see what waiting costs. Each day outside felt longer. I called your distance patience. I stood close without being known. There was no key I could find, no way to make you open without losing all of me. Your love became a locked room. I cannot wait outside it. You asked me to stay close while shutting out my questions. I gave you every chance to speak. You gave another silence. I cannot spend my life here. Your love became a locked room. I thought waiting made me loyal. I thought patience proved my love. But standing at a closed door will never make it open. You have to turn the lock yourself. I cannot do it for you. I have a life outside this room. A thin light waits beneath the door. I lift my hand from the lock. I stand there one last moment, then turn toward my own life. The room stays closed behind me. Bathroom light reflects my tears. I cover my mouth to stay quiet. I cry behind the bathroom door so you would not feel guilty. I kept each breath quiet and washed my face before returning. By day I smiled beside you and acted like I needed nothing. I made my sadness disappear whenever you looked my way. You never heard me breaking. I made sure you never would. I carried pain in silence to keep the weight from you. I smiled like I needed nothing while everything in me hurt. You never heard me breaking because I broke so quietly. The day I finally left, you looked at me confused. You said you never knew that I had been unhappy. I stood there without an answer because part of you was right. I had pretended for so long, even truth looks sudden. You never heard me breaking. I hid it too completely. You only saw the smile I wore to keep you comfortable. But love should have been listening beyond the words I gave. You never heard me breaking until I walked away. I thought protecting you was another way to love. I thought needing nothing would make me easier to keep. But hiding every wound did not make it hurt less. It only made my leaving the first truth you could see. Bathroom light reflects my tears. My hands still covers my mouth. I leave before you understand, and close the door quietly.